Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to lesbrown's Motivational Monday Night Call, your place for motivation and inspiration by world-renowned speaker, author, coach, Mr. Les Brown, featuring his platinum speakers. My name is Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant, and it is a privilege to be your host for tonight's call. We'd like to welcome all of you who have joined in for the first time and invite you to come back again with a friend. To our faithful listeners, we thank you for being here and being a part of this community. And we invite you to visit lesbrown.com, that's lesbrown.com, to get information on upcoming events and programs with Mr. Brown. There is a training happening in Los Angeles, California, May 27th and 28th. And if you go to the website, you'll be able to get further information and register for this event. Additionally, you can follow Mr. Brown on Facebook at brown.les, that's brown.les, where you can get inspiration and interaction from Mr. Brown himself. And of course, on other forms of social media, following where he's traveling all over the world. He sends his love and regards and thanks you for your time, your diligence in being a part of this community, as well as showing up as he's traveling all over the world and inspiring new voices of hope. So on behalf of the team, we say thank you and we appreciate you. And thank you to all who were on last week. There was such an overwhelming response from our feature of Johnny Wimbrey. And we say thank you for your support and continue to listen out because you never know who might come by. And today you get another treat. You get another opportunity to meet someone who not only is a part of the Platinum Speakers family, but has gone on to do just what Les Brown is inspiring. Voices of hope to change this globe one person at a time. He is a speaker. He's an author. He's a real estate mogul. He has graduated from the top schools in the country. And most recently, I am just biasly proud. I'll just tell you that, ladies and gentlemen, because this individual that I'm about to introduce to some, others have heard him before, and some for the first time will hear him tonight, has been dedicated to excellence in each part of his life. But I'm not going to give you every detail about his bio because he's going to be talking a little bit about his journey. But what I want to share with you is that he constantly studies to show himself approved. He constantly moves in the space of mastery when it comes to helping other people show up for their lives. And he's not just talking about it, he's living it. He's created a movement, Show Up for Your Life, and now he has transformed that in the new release and launch of his book, Show Up for Your Life. He's been featured in Black Enterprise, soon to be featured in the Huffington Post, and someone that I personally know and love and respect because of the caliber of his integrity and his commitment to changing people's lives. If you don't have a pen or paper nearby, you might want to get one because throughout this conversation, I promise you, he will deposit nuggets in your life that will turn into pure gold in the execution of your goals and your dreams. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, my friends, I introduce to you a gifted communicator trained by our legendary and renowned leader, Mr. Les Brown. The ability he has to transform and create stories and leave an impact on your life is absolutely incredible. So get prepared, put on your seatbelts as I introduce to you the one, the only, my friend and my brother, Mr. Andy Enriquez. Andy, are you with us, my dear?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant. Girl, you know I always have a huge smile on my face when I just simply hear your voice. My sister from another mother, the amazing friend that helped me pull off the surprise proposal for my wife when I was out there in New York. And Stacey, you are spectacular. I love your commitment. I love what you do, Stacey. It's every time we touch base, we try to catch up with each other in between events and so forth. And you're always on your way to go touch, go bless, go inspire somebody. And I'm always excited to be back on the line. It's been a while, but I'm back on the line right now with my Monday night motivational movement people, the Les Brown Monday night motivational movement people. Many of you, some of you maybe perhaps coming in for the first time. Some of you have been listening in now for a couple weeks, couple months, and some of you have been listening in for years, because you know that if you show up every single Monday, that either you're going to hear from Les Brown, or now recently you're having the opportunity from hearing from fruits of his labor. We're talking about people who have made the commitment, people who've worked on themselves, people who have the seeds of greatness that have been deposited from Les Brown and are out there making things happen. So, Stacey, I'm excited. I'm happy to be here. Let's have some fun.
Absolutely. We are going to have a ball tonight. So let's start at the beginning, Andy, because your journey has been so incredible to watch, to be a part of it, to witness that nothing works until you do, and you've been doing the work. And I'm just so excited to see what is manifesting as a result of you showing up for your life. But it didn't start there, Andy. Where did your transition start to happen when you decided that the path you took, going to school, the education you received, where did you make that decision that you wanted to do something different? Because our callers, they have various backgrounds, and they might be where you were, working on a corporate job and finding that there was something pulling, tugging at their heart, tugging at their soul that they wanted to do. Share with us how your journey began.
And you know, Stacey, as you know, you and I, we share something in common in the fact that we both were raised in a Caribbean household. And one of the things that was emphasized in my household was just the importance of, Andy, go to school, get a good education, so one day you'll be able to have a good job. And for those of you who really have never heard my story before, I followed the script that was handed to me. I went to school at Florida State University. I got my undergraduate degree in accounting. I graduated summa cum laude. I mean, basically graduated with straight A's, stayed and got my master's degree in corporate accounting, studied like crazy, passed the CPA exam, interviewed, landed a job, one of the largest professional service firms in the world. And I'm thinking to myself, I followed the script, and so the script should lead me to happiness. The script should lead me to all the things that I want to accomplish in life. And lo and behold, it was literally after about 3.5 years of working in corporate America and working for an amazing company at that I started to have this internal turmoil. And maybe some of you can relate to that, where you have this internal voice where something is saying, you know what, there's got to be more than this. And I tell you, for about 1.5 years, I thought about taking a chance on myself. I thought about becoming an entrepreneur. I thought about going after my dreams and my goals and trying to figure out what my purpose and what my calling is. But every time I thought about it, I would talk myself out of it. And so, in other words, I was fearful. And so maybe perhaps some of you that are listening right now, there's something that you've been wanting to do, you've been meaning to do. I don't know, maybe perhaps you want to write a book. Maybe you've been wanting to become a speaker or a coach. Maybe you've been thinking about starting a business. Maybe you think about going back to school. Maybe you've been considering getting into a serious relationship. But there's something that maybe perhaps you were thinking about doing, and then you have this little bit of fear inside. And I tell you, Stacey, that fear kept me from moving forward. And you know, somebody once said, and it's Zig Ziglar, he said that fear is false evidence appearing real. Well, I agree, but there's another part that I disagree with. It may be false evidence appearing real, but I tell you what is very real. The effects of fear are very real, because fear will paralyze you. Fear will keep you from moving forward on your goals and your dreams. Fear will keep you from doing that thing that you know that you want to do, that you've been meaning to do, and you just haven't been willing to do it. And so for me, it was back in December of 2004 that became my defining moment. You know, Kevin Costner has a movie, Tin Cop, and he has a line. He says, when the defining moment comes, either you define the moment or the moment defines you. And so either you define the moment, you decide to get uncomfortable, you decide to lean in, you decide to tap into the greatness that Les Brown talks about, you decide to show up for your life, as I would tell you, you decide to design your destiny, as Stacey N.C. Grant would tell you. There becomes that defining moment, or the moment defines you, and you decide to play small, and you decide to let your circumstances dictate what your dreams, what your gifts and the possibilities are going to be. And so for me, that moment, Stacey, was when I finally built up some courage in December of 2004, and Ambrose Redmoon said that courage is not the absence of fear. He said that courage is the judgment that the thing that you want is greater than the fear. And so for me, that thing, that to go after my goals and my dreams, that thing, to try to discover what my passion and what my calling is, that thing, finally, I decided to step into that thing in December of 2004. And so what I'm hoping, Stacey, is that there's somebody who's listening in right now, and I'm so glad you asked me that question, that maybe is where I was at that one particular time when I knew that there was something in me. They were saying that there's got to be more than this, and they're saying, well, what do I do? And here's what I would say to you, to that person, is that you have to make a move even in the presence of your fear. And I say this to my coaching clients and audiences all the time. If you move on what you know, then things will become clear to you. But if you don't move on what you don't know will paralyze you. And so you've got to focus on what you know. What you know is that this is your time. What you know is that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. What you know is that there's a book inside of you. What you know is that you can, in fact, grow your business. What you know is that you don't want to be a victim to something that happened to you in the past, and you're ready to design a new future for yourself. And if you focus on what you know, things will become clear to you. But if you keep focusing on the fear and what you don't have and that limiting conversation, then you'll become paralyzed. And so that was my journey. And I'm hoping that as some of you are listening to this exchange that's happening right now between myself and Stacey, that you realize that there's no such thing as perfect moment. And you're going to have to do, as Joyce Meyer said, you're going to have to do it afraid. And so, Stacey, you know, we all share that in common. Girl, I had to do it afraid.
And I know that's right. And I love what you shared about being paralyzed by what you don't know and actually taking that leap. And you decided in 2004 that this was it. I'm going to answer the call. And you shared a small part of your story. And then you had an opportunity to meet a man, Les Brown. How did that happen? How did you get connected with the authority on speaking on this planet? When did that appear in your life, and how did you know it was time to move forward?
Oh, my goodness. You know, one of the things that I love that Les says, and this is one of those things that offend people and sometimes, but I want to share this right before I share the story. He says that wherever you are in life, at some point you made an appointment to be there. And so if right now you're in a place where things are going great, you made an appointment to be there, and guess what? I know this doesn't sound good, and I do understand that there's times when we have tragedy and so forth, but just listen to me carefully on this, that wherever you are right now, at some point or another, you made an appointment to be there. And so the reason why I share that, Stacey, is because of this. When I first made the decision, and I now all of a sudden, I had this desire, this dream to become a speaker, I, of course, naturally became just completely infatuated with the idea of becoming a speaker, that I would literally listen to different motivational speakers. I was listening to Les Brown. I was listening to Jim Rohn. I was listening to Zig Ziglar. I was listening to Tony Robbins. And then I decided one day, I went to an event, and they had a little notepad that I had at the event, and they were talking about the importance of sort of visualizing and pulling things into existence for you. And so I went home, Stacey. I can't believe I've admitted this. I went home, and I started pulling up the motivational speakers, and then, of course, looking at Les Brown and listening to him so much, I felt like I identified with him so much. I actually downloaded and printed Les Brown's bio, and I actually edited his bio, and where we had his picture, I put my picture right next to it, and I put that little piece of paper, Stacey, inside my notepad. I had it inside my notepad, and that was the same notepad that I just sort of wrote goals down, notes, and so forth. And here's the crazy thing. I had an ex-girlfriend, and she had a roommate, and the roommate and I, we weren't even close, but because of social media was starting to get popular and so forth, people were just happy to see familiar faces, so she hit me up on social media. Hey, how you doing? And I said, I'm good. We exchanged telephone numbers, and we got on the phone one day and we started connecting. She says, hey, how you doing? You know, I've been seeing that, you know, you're out there, you're you know, trying to get out there and start speaking. You know, that was a little early on. I was maybe 2 years in. I was going to events. I was getting little speaking engagements here and there and so forth, many of which I was speaking for free and so forth. And she says, well, who are some of the great speakers you like to listen to? I said, well, oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? I said, I said, I like Zig Ziglar. I like Jim Rohn. But I said, oh, my favorite, my all-time best. I mean, I listen to this man so much, and that's Les Brown. And she goes, oh, really, Les Brown? I said, yes. She says, well, listen, Les Brown was actually at my church. I know Les Brown. And I said, wow, that's amazing. Oh, my gosh, I would love to see Les Brown in person. That's amazing. And she says, yeah, I had the opportunity to meet him. Yeah, I know him. And so I sort of dismissed it, Stacy, right, when they say, I know him, right? We know oftentimes when people say, I know him or I know her, they just talk about it because they're friends on Facebook or something like that, right? And so the craziest thing, the next day my telephone rings, Stacy. I answer the phone. I go, hello? And she goes, hey, Andy, how are you? I said, I'm good. I said, what's up? She said, listen, do you have a couple of minutes? I said, yeah, absolutely. Well, what's going on? She said, hey, listen, you have a minute or I want to put you on the phone. So I said, yeah, absolutely. She said, well, just a second. And she clicks over. And she goes, Andy, you there? And I say, yeah. And right when she says, Andy, you there? I hear, hello, Andy, how you doing? This is Les Brown, Mamie Brown's baby boy. I was like, and you know I am never, for loss of words, Stacey NC Grant. You know this. And I was like, Les Brown? He said, yeah, how you doing, Andy? And he just right away made me feel at home. And as we had the conversation, he said, yeah, you know, I heard you want to start a speaking career, and, you know, your friend had some good things to say about you. And he says, Andy, listen, where are you located? I said, I am in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He said, well, listen, I am going to be in Orlando, Florida, this weekend in Orlando, Florida. I'm going to be doing a speaker training. And listen, I would love for you to come to the training. Now, the training normally costs this amount of money, but listen, here's what I'd like to do for you. I want to give you a special promotional rate if you want to join me this weekend. And so you know, Stacy, without a second hesitation, I said, I will be there. And I tell you, Stacy, when I got into my truck and drove up to Orlando, Florida, that was the beginning of an entirely different journey. You want to talk about elevating the game. You want to talk about being able to sit at the feet of the master, okay? Now, you know, Stacy, I mean, at this point in the stage in the game, I've been blessed and fortunate enough to share the stage with some of the best speakers in the world. I've been blessed and fortunate enough to be in programs and see the best of the best of the best. But I tell you, hands down, when you want to talk about transformational, when you want to talk about being able to connect with people, not just in their mind, but being able to penetrate their hearts and leave a message with them far after he has left, there is none that can do it like Les Brown. And so, Stacey, that was the journey. And as you know, after that, I just had the opportunity. I mean, training after training and opportunities. And as you know, and for those who tuned in last week, and those of you who've been around with platinum speakers know, I mean, Les is one of the few in the industry that is willing to pass the mic. And so, Stacey, you know, Les would just let me know he was speaking in such and such area. And as you know, Stacey NC Grant, you know your boy Andy Enriquez is going to show up. And I would show up, and next thing you know, Les would be there. And he says, next up, I'm going to bring up a young man. This young man is based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. When this young man is done speaking, some of you are going to be out there and say, Les Brown, who? And I'll be like, who is he talking about? Who out of here is out of Fort Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Who is this person? And next thing you know, you say, the gentleman is Andy Enriquez. And I'll be like, what? He'd pass me the mic. He said, you got 10 minutes. Pass me the mic. Say, you got 15 minutes. And I'll never forget this. We were in Cleveland, Ohio. He asked me to come out. We get out there. It's 500 people that showed up to see Les Brown. Les Brown called me up. I'm thinking I'm going up there for 5 minutes. He passed me the mic, Stacy. He said, you got 30 minutes. And you know it, Stacy. You know I had to make sure I showed up. You know I had to bring it from down deep, as Dr. Sweeney would tell us. You know I had to show up. But I tell you, Stacy, it has been absolutely amazing, the journey to learn from the master. And for him to be so gracious and to create opportunities for all of us. And so as I look through this journey and I look at, where I've gotten right now, and even for my newly released book, Stacy, I mean, Les insisted. I mean, he was busy at the time. I don't know what country he was in. He might have been in India. He might have been in Australia. But he insisted to find the time to write the foreword to my book. And it was going to take, little challenges and getting back and forth, whatever. But he insisted. He said, no, I am going to write the foreword to the book. So consider it done. We're just going to have to figure out how to make this thing happen. And so I'm grateful. As you know, he followed through on his word and made that happen. And Stacey, I tell you, I literally look back and I can look at so many moments and even relationships that I have right now. And I love to sit there, and I would love to take credit for the success that I've had to this point. And I could tell you right now that I can pinpoint so many times that how I could tie it back to that single decision to go ahead and go to that training initially in Orlando, and then making the decision to really get outside of my comfort level and join the Platinum Speaker Program. And it wasn't just connecting with Les, but it was being part of a community of like-minded individuals, of people who are going after their goals and their dreams. And I tell you, it has been a tremendous, tremendous journey, and I'm so grateful. And one of the things I say right now, and I know it's probably a little more challenging, right, to be able to put yourself in that network. But for those of you who are serious right now, I'm telling you, you want to do whatever you have to do. I know Les is traveling like crazy and so forth, but any trainings that are available, and those of you who are really serious, you need to kick down the door, find out who you need to talk to, and make sure that you become part of the Les Brown Platinum Speaker Program. And as we always say, Stacey, we know it works if you work it, girl. And girl,
That's
have
right.
we worked it.
We sure have. And I'm just so excited for the callers who know and love you to hear you tonight, for those who are hearing you for the first time to hear your story, for following some of the keys that you have shared about getting uncomfortable with not moving forward on your goals and your dreams. And that's what you did. You found that there was just something you just couldn't do the same thing anymore, expecting a different result. You got off the insanity train and you started taking action. And when you took action, look at Providence stepping in, that you would bump into someone you hadn't seen virtually and physically connect, and she see and watch what you're doing to put you in touch with Les Brown. Those things aren't coincidence in my book. I think that's God's way of staying anonymous. And it sets you on a trajectory of being able to make that commitment to not only attend the training, like the training coming up in May, that everyone who has an opportunity in the Los Angeles area or close by to get to will have, but then you took it a step further and you joined the program. And fast forward to 2016, where you have built a movement of your own, Show Up for Your Life, where you have published your book, where you are now creating changes in people's lives. It speaks volumes of the kind of work that Mr. Brown has done, the legacy that he has created, the lives that he continues to impact of all of us who have had the privilege and the honor of working with him and expanding our own voice and being very clear about our assignment in this world. Now, I know you have another commitment that's coming up, so your time is limited tonight, but if somebody wants to find out more about Andy Enriquez, if somebody wants to get involved with what you have to offer, how can they do that?
Thank you so much, Stacey. And so there's two things. First of all, I definitely, for those of you who are committed to personal development, and I do understand that the majority of books do not get read, but I'm telling you right now, if you're just going to read one book this year, one book, and of course, I'm not going to dare say it'll take the place of my favorite book, the Bible, Stacey. I won't say that. But if you're going to read one book outside of that, the one book that you want to read is Show Up for Your Life, which is 7 Principles to Live an Extraordinary Life. So one of the things that I would say is get your hands on the book. And so I just want to tell you how to do that. Very simple. You're just going to simply go to showupforyourlifebook.com, all spelled out properly. Showupforyourlifebook.com. And so I am so humbled and so grateful for the fact that Les Brown actually wrote the foreword to the book, and and so many other just tremendous, powerful endorsements that I've received for the book. And so I just can't wait to hear back from people who get the opportunity to actually get through the book. And as you know, Stacey, on top of people going to andyhenriquez.com, I want to give them the website so that they can go ahead and lock in the information. For those of you, as we call double dippers, I heard somebody at the beginning of the call says, I jump on every Monday and every Thursday. And somebody might say, well, what goes on Thursday? Well, Thursday night, I do the Show Up for Your Life free motivational call. And that call has been going on now for 5 years. That was a call that Les Brown pushed me to make sure that I actually did. He says, listen, you've got to go ahead and develop your own call, and you've got to get out there and share your story and the things that you have. And so I did that over 5 years ago. And so I want to just give you the free website for that. So just so you can go ahead and make sure that you log in the information, and go ahead and put your name and email address so we can stay connected. So very simple. Go to showupforyourlife.com. Go to showupforyourlife.com. So it's showupforyourlifebook.com and showupforyourlife.com. And of course, Stacey, they'll know too. You can always go ahead and Google my name, and you'll go to Andy Henriquez if you want to know more about me as a speaker and a trainer and a coach. Stacey, let me just tell you, girl, you know we have fun. You know time flies too fast when we get together, though. You know that, right?
Absolutely, Eric. We know that you are in high demand tonight, and we appreciate you taking the time out to be here. I, of course, have the privilege of knowing you, working with you, being a part of two of the most special moments in your life with your beautiful wife, Dr. Cassandra Henriquez. And I'm just excited that the audience tonight had a chance to see that the work that Les does is more than just motivation for a moment. It's about changing lives and inspiring everyone to do their share. He knows that everyone might not hear his voice, but the voices that he inspires, the platforms that are built, that all of us that come on this line and share examples of what's possible for you, the listener. So you've heard just a small part of Andy Henriquez's story, and I invite you to follow up with him, Show Up for Your Life, visit and get that book. Go ahead and join the movement that he has, because it's about the collective work that we do, a collaborative, achievement-driven relationship. We don't believe in competition. We believe in collaboration, and that is what our teacher, our mentor, Mr. Brown, totally completely embraces, even as he works with others on this platform across the globe, inspiring change and voices of hope. So, Andy, thank you for being here. I don't know if you have 1 minute that you can maybe take a question or a comment from our audience. But if you don't, we understand that they can connect with you directly and give their feedback on social media.
Stacey, you know I always push it to the limit. So, and you know we live off of hearing from the audience. So I am definitely open to us taking 1 to 2 calls. I definitely want to hear some voices.
Awesome, awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put the call in Q&A mode, which will allow you an opportunity to speak. Just press *6 to unmute your line, and I just ask you go one at a time, and we're really going to time this because he has to be present to share his story once more tonight. So stand by, everybody.
All callers are unmuted. All callers are muted and may unmute themselves by pressing *6.
Okay, go right ahead.
Hello, Andy.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Hi. I'm not sure if you remember me, but this is Queen in Columbus, Ohio. How are you?
Hey, Queen, I'm doing absolutely wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I was just listening to you, and I am delighted. You have accomplished a lot, and I thought you flew the coop because I hadn't heard from you in a long time. I thought you flew the coop. You accomplished so much. I was just delighted to hear how you were talking about Les, because you know I knew Les when he was a pole man. So I was, wow. Andy is talking this word about Les Brown. Wow, he's accomplished all of that. Thank you so much for all the compliments to Les Brown.
Yes, indeed, Queen.
So you'll be in Los Angeles?
I am not going to be in Los Angeles for the training. I have another commitment. So unfortunately I won't be there, but I know you're going to be in fantastic hands if you make it out to the training. You know, those trainings are absolutely amazing.
I think I'm going to wait till he comes to Columbus in June.
Okay.
I'm signed up for in June. Yeah, he'll be here in June, so I will go then. But thank you for your wonderful compliments. Wow.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And you know, it's always great to hear your voice. Thank you so much. And let's stay connected. Okay, Queen?
All right. Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you, Queen. And I heard, go ahead, Ray. I hear your voice, Ray. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and we have another caller. Yes. No. Go ahead, Ray.
Oh, Andy, you are amazing, and I'm going to catch up with you. Don't ask me how, but I'm going to do it. Because I burn up, I don't kick down state door. I burn up a phone line, and she can vouch for that. But I'd like to contact you. I'd rather do it by phone, if that's possible.
I missed the last part of your question. What did she say?
So Ray wants, yes, okay, Andy. Ray wants to get in contact with you. Ray, he has his number right on the website. If you give him a call there in the office, he'll be able to connect with you. Okay, Ray?
Okay,
absolutely. Andy AndyEnriquez.com.
Wonderful, amazing man.
Thank you so much.
He's a personal friend.
Thank you, Ray. We appreciate your support and always being here. And there was another caller that was trying to get through, Ray. So make sure you just go grab that number. You can connect with him in the office, okay? Hello, go right ahead.
Hi, this is Raquel.
I hear two voices. So we'll let the young lady go first, if you don't mind, sir, and then you next. And then we're going to start to wind down. So go right ahead, ma'am.
Okay. Hi, this is Loretta calling from Maryland. Are you going to be in the Maryland area?
In the Maryland area, what you would have to do is, if you can go to AndyEnriquez.com and just do us a favor. If you call into the office number or go ahead and just simply put in your name and your email, then you'll be on my list and then you'll get the notifications when I'm coming out to your area. Unfortunately, oftentimes when I do come in the area, it's for a corporation that's bringing me in. It's often a private event. But please do join my mail list so I can let you know where I'm at an event, and it's a personal development event that's open to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, the gentleman that was waiting, and then we're going to start to wind down. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, this is Shaquille. I'm calling from Winter Park, Florida. I just want to thank you guys for what you do and the call and constantly giving us motivation and encouragement. And I think it's very funny because at first I actually refused to get on this call when I first heard about it. My mother would kind of nag me about it. I was still in high school and she would constantly push it on me, and I just kind of felt it wasn't something I needed to do at that age. I later started getting on, just to keep her quiet or whatever, and it actually resonated with me, and it began to help me to move through my week and stay positive and keep encouraged. And another interesting thing tonight was I heard my brother announce himself for the first time, and I just like to know that we've came so far and that we're moving forward and progressing, and you all have helped us to do that.
Wow, that is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And we appreciate you.
Thank God for your mother, too, that was pushing you and knowing that the importance of making sure that you have the right people in your ear. I did a message recently called Who's in Your Ear? And so it's important that you have the right people in your ear that are helping to expand your vision, that are casting a vision of hope, that are allowing you to see more in yourself than what you see, as opposed to those who are talking about the limitations and trying to poke holes in your dreams. And so we thank you, especially you being right down here in Florida. Thank you so much for tuning in. Great to hear your voice tonight. And Stacy, of course, like always, you have done a magnificent job.
Thank you, my brother. And I'm going to just...
All callers are muted.
To close out the call, I just appreciate you for who you are. I'm so excited for what you are doing in the world and how you are changing lives and using your divine assignment to make a difference on this planet. And thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule now to be able to join us and just celebrate what happens when you do the work, and for what Mr. Brown is accomplishing by changing the lives and expanding the territory so that we can reach more people and really be the difference that we seek. So congratulations again. Continued success and blessings to you, my brother. Love you to life. Thank you so much. And you go off and inspire and be amazing with the next group that is waiting for you. And ladies and gentlemen, please connect with Mr. Andy Enriquez as he talks about Show Up for Your Life. Go and visit. Go to lesbrown.com for information on our next training. You heard what it did for Andy Enriquez. Same thing can happen for you. It's about making the decision to show up for your life. And May 27th and 28th is that opportunity for an intense training with Mr. Brown, as well as some of the other information that is shared on lesbrown.com. You can visit him on Facebook, once again, at brown.les. And for those who want to connect with me, just visit DestinyDesignersUniversity.com. That's Destiny Designers, D-E-S-T-I-N-Y, Designers, D-E-S-I-G-N-E-R-S, University, all spelled out, .com. And you get all my social media handles and email me or talk to me there if there's something you want to share. And on behalf of Mr. Brown, the entire team, we thank you for being here. We thank you for lending us your ears and lending us your hearts for these moments every single Monday night that we can remind you of what you already know about the greatness that lives inside of you. God bless you all, and God bless your dreams. Bye-bye, Andy. Bye-bye, everyone. Have a great night.